Okay, good afternoon, Wood. I'm not speaking to you. You probably know why. Not only did you beat us in the rugby, you absolutely embarrassed us in the cricket. But as you weren't involved, I forgive you. Shocking, actually, shocking. That's some of the worst cricket I think we've ever played. We were absolutely annihilated, I've got to say. But I don't tend to follow rugby so much. I do watch it occasionally, but I know we were beaten by 1 point very later on in the game, didn't I? But I'll forgive you, mate. As for the rain, yeah, we have been affected. Not us personally, but our town. The town I live, Shrewsbury, it's known for flooding. We have a flood defence barrier, and that's up at the moment. It's due to peak in the next day or so, I think. But there are certain roads. But now we're up sort of way off, way up a hill, way away from any of the sort of the bad area. But compared to other places around the world, it's nothing really. But no, we do get some. So there you go. So, hope you've had a good weekend, mate. 2 games in a row, I know. You're not into rugby? No, I was following the rugby, but yeah, we were beaten but we were absolutely, I think humiliated is the word in the cricket. But yeah, there you go. What can you do? Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but... So, what is going on here? I actually took that, which I knew was a bit risky, and the reason I took it, we had a leg down there, a break and a new low, then we sort of had a leg up, we had a higher low there, and I thought we were coming up here, and the reason I took it is it's slightly more bullish, but we had a perfect measured leg, and it sat quite nice there, so I thought I'll risk it, and I went for 1.5 points, just 1.5 points on a limit order. I thought I don't want to push my luck, and I'm quite glad I didn't, because it would have come against me. But I'm wondering now where we've got a leg back and a leg back, or we're going to continue higher. That just came out of nowhere. Yeah. I have a feeling, actually, there's maybe a bigger, interesting. There could be something bigger there. I was just watching Top Pick Trader on YouTube, and he was doing an analysis for the day, and it's looking very bearish at the moment. And the reason I think that, in case we don't break higher, is I've just looked at the fib tool and we've come back. Exactly 50%. Look at that. So we've come down from the tops. We've bounced here on the bottom. We've come up exactly 50%. So that got me thinking maybe there's a bigger downtrend channel. So we'll see. So two schools of thought here. We may push up, make a new high, and this downtrend may not be valid. But as you know me, mate, I like to put it there anyway. So we'll see. You're on your own today. Oh, there's a few in. Okay. Yeah, I am a bit early. I'm not usually... Oh, or am I? Oh, no. It's just 27 minutes past. But yeah, we've had some rough rain. Hey, Kev, how you doing? We've had a lot of rain. I think we've had, I don't know, compared to some places. I mean, you look at places, places in India and other parts of the US and stuff where they have to... We don't get bad rain, in all fairness. We get a lot of rain, but nothing that's going to really kill anybody, or incredibly rare, put it that way. But we do... the river does overflow, and there are a lot of roads underwater, but, that they know it, and they have flood defences where I live, so it's not bad compared to a lot of places. So, how you doing, Kev? You had a good weekend? So yeah, we had a leg down with a break, another leg, and then we had a leg up with a break, and then we had that higher low. So I thought that was a really solid looking bar. I came in just after that, but we went up and had 2 legs back, 2 legs back. Now it was an exact measured move, and we've had a few touches there. We've had a few touches there, so I thought that was worth the risk. So many times I see that trade, something like that, and it works. So I just thought I'd take a risk. I got on a limit order, It was a couple of ticks below there, but I got out for 1.5 points, and obviously I think I got a bit lucky there. But you know, there we go. Went Christmas shopping with the wife. Oh, did you really? We haven't started yet, bud. I don't mind Christmas shopping. I quite like it, actually. I quite like Christmas. I'm quite a Christmas fan. And it's even nicer when you're working at home, because I started at working at home last Christmas. I'll be doing weekends, but I started working at home. There's nothing nicer being at home at Christmas, I don't think, you know, because I plan on getting myself a little tree in this room where I'm trading from, a little bit of glitter hanging from some of the monitors and that. I want to make it quite Christmassy, so... but yeah, you got to start somewhere. No time like the present. But yeah, it's come around so quick. It doesn't seem 5 minutes, because I started streaming last Christmas. I think, was it beginning of December? I think somewhere like that. I actually had a couple of really good days. I think 27th and 28th. So okay, market is due to open in the next 5 seconds. So let's see if we're going to push up or we're going to bounce off this. But we've come back exactly 50%. That's the only reason I've put that line there. If it doesn't hold, I'll bin it. Let's have a look. Okay, market is officially open. Hey, Stop Hunter, how you doing, pal? Let's have a look. I'll tell you what, I'm just going to bin it for a minute. Okay, it does seem like we've just had a break. Let's see if we make a new high. Or it could be a slight range. Let's have a look. Okay, I like that. If we can tick below there, we may get a new high. I've got $160 to get another PA. So I'm playing MES today. Yeah, good on you, mate. Good for you. I'm really surprised they've still got this 71%. I really am. Because I know how many they sell. Because obviously I'm an affiliate and they sell, I'd say, 1/10 of the amount they do when it's 80% off and 90% off. So I'm really surprised, and I'll be surprised. Well, we've got another week left till it ends. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one because it could start to range. I don't know if anybody noticed. I've just watched this. Where is it? Oh, you might hear us saying for a second. Hi. I'll just cut it back. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is, I don't know his name. He's one of the top pick trading guys. He's just, I just watched that video. So we've got a leg down. So it's really bearish at the moment. That's the daily, the ES daily. So we've had, let's open up. We've had that. We've come down. We've had a bit of a pullback, but it's going down again. So we could get a really bearish day today, so we'll have to see. And I am wondering, because we've come back exactly 50% from this drop, exactly to the nearest tick. So, okay, so we had a break. We got 2 attempts to go lower. Is this going to go up? Not sure actually at the moment. So I'm just going to keep an eye on this. Diddly. SH, what's that, bud? What am I missing? Short. What about here? I'm not. See, we've got a leg up. We've had a break. Made 2 attempts to go lower, so we may go higher. We could go. I'm a bit on the fence here. It's a bit sideways actually. So, just saying. Okay, yeah, I got you. So we've got 2 pushes down. So let's see if we are going to push up. It's hard to say at the moment because we've had, it looks sideways a minute. This is starting to look bearish. There may have been some shorts, some longs there. We've had a break. 2 attempts to go lower, which is triggered, and this is starting to look maybe bearish. So if it gets below there, there's probably going to be some stops there, maybe there. So this is interesting. So we're either going to push up. Okay, there's a failure there, but at the moment it's a bit sideways, so that could trigger. There could be a double trap there, so you're in it long. If that triggers, you're in it short with a failure which is triggered. So let's have a look. It's not coming down quick enough for me, so yeah, I'm a bit on the fence here as what's going on. It could do either or here. Let's have a look. If we get down below there, we may have a shot. Mind you, we may bounce off the bottom here. So, okay, so you're in it long. You're in it short with a failure. So there's possibly a couple of traps there. Let's have a look. I've got no idea what it's going to do, up or down. 1 minute bearish. Okay, so is it going to bounce here? So that stop got taken out. If you bought that, 2 legs out, so we got a leg up. I'm just wondering whether that might be a penguin trader, but he usually waits for it to push, doesn't he? Because we got a leg up. We made 2 attempts to go lower and a nice big bullish bar, but I'm pretty sure he'll wait for this the midline and get out of the top. But then there's the failure, which is triggered. I wouldn't take that either because obviously it could bounce here. So that might be, and it is a bit congested. So let's see if that stop gets taken out as well. I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, so I wouldn't want to go short there because of the bottom. Okay, that didn't look too bad anyway. Yeah, I didn't want to take that because it's a little bit sideways, and obviously there is a possibility. Just sit tight, as Matt would say. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm just trying to assess what's going on here. I wonder. Oh, my dog's having a dream behind me, making some odd noises. Wilson, wake up, lad. Wilson. Sorry about those weird yelping noises in the back. My dog Wilson's having a dream. Okay, so what are we going to do here? It may not even be a channel, that, in all fairness. May just be something like that. With a break, a couple of pushes up to a new high. Yeah, that's probably more like it. I am thinking bearish at the moment, just because of the daily, and because we've had this couple of big pushes down, and we've come back exactly 50%. Exactly. What's the percent line? Percent, yeah. So, yeah, we could get a leg and a leg. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? So let's just put that there, and put that there, and we'll see if we can break below these lows here. Let's bring that down there. No, I don't think I need that yet, do I? Okay, so far that's working kind of nice. Okay, so we got this big leg down, a small leg with a break, new low, a couple of pushes up to a new high, made a few attempts to get higher and then turned down, so that there is a 50% retracement from up here. I know we don't talk about that much, but it's useful to just check, because if it is accurate and it does pull back to that 50%, it's a useful little sort of, it's useful to know. Head and shoulders there. Bloody hell, mate, you must know some odd looking people. The trouble is, I suppose you guys that notice these things are that used to seeing them, you can make something out of nothing. But you know what I mean. If you ask a complete novice, can you see head and shoulders there? They'd look at you like you're a maniac. Well, I know what you're saying. So we've got the head there and the 2 shoulders. So it goes up, doesn't it, with the arm? There's the shoulder, there's the head, and it's supposed to come down, isn't it? what does it come down as far from the top of the head to the bottom of the shoulders? Is that what it's supposed to be? I don't know. I've looked into patterns like that before when I first started currency trading, but I didn't do it for a tremendous amount of time before I come on to this. See, so there is a second entry short there. And usually it's supposed to be off this, isn't it? But my slight concern is we have a break. It's not a terrible trade, but there's not much room to the lows. There's just a few ticks. And it's 3 points, 3.25 points, tick below, tick below. So I'm not interested in that. But Mac obviously does talk about it's more important, the channel, than the EMA. But he also talks about having enough room to the lows, and there's clearly not there. So if you go a tick below that, there's 3/4 of a point to the lows. So it's just not worth the risk. Because at some point we'll have a break of this little channel and it may be there. And then maybe there's a lower high. That's an even bigger bar, so same again. I'm just going to sit tight here. It is a second entry short, but it's a little bit congested. You haven't got the room to the highs, and then it pulls down and pulls back and gives you a lower high. I'm just going to sit tight at the moment because so these head and shoulders patterns, are they supposed to come down as low as the you know, in this case, the left shoulder? How does it work? I can see a shoulder, a head and the shoulder. Just wondering how far it comes down. So, okay, so I didn't take that one. That one was a possibility, but trouble is it's had 3 legs down now, so we could have a break. That one I wouldn't take because there's not enough room to the lows. That one, I don't know. I'm just not confident of what we're doing yet. If we have got a bearish day, I wouldn't expect to have that channel go down much further without having a break. Okay, so it clearly went for 2 points. So perhaps it wasn't terrible. I'm just not a fan. I prefer the body here. That's the type of bar I like. But there was only 3 ticks to the, well, if you'd have put it a tick below there was only 2 ticks to the lows, so just not enough really there. And then obviously you've got another one, but same again, that's a bloody big bar. So if you go a tick below it and a tick above it, it's 3.5 points. I'm not prepared to take 3.5 point risk when it's that far down and the body is away from here and the EMA. Now it's clearly worked, but I would have expected a break. Okay, so I'm just going to put a an arrow there for that one. Slightly risky in my opinion, but Hey Chris, how you doing, fella? See, we've broken the lows now. It does look like we could have another leg down. Trouble is, I wouldn't expect that to make a whole leg. I'd expect that to widen. I much prefer to go short on the break, I do, because you just never know when it's going to break. So if you wait for the break and you can get a good short. That one I didn't want to take, but one tick below there, there's only 2 ticks to the lows. That one's just too far from there for my liking. I like the bar there because it could tick higher, touch the EMA, come down and close below there. So I thought that was slightly more risky. Not only that, 3.5 points top to bottom with a tick above each, which is just too rich for my blood. And I like the fact that I'm not just jumping in randomly. I like the fact that I'm thinking about the risk as well a bit more, which is good. It just means my account's a little bit more important. Okay, yeah, see, I knew it was going to break at some point. So that's a leg and a leg. So if we can get a nice bearish bar here, then I'll sell that because it's clearly a leg and a leg. Come on, drop me a bugger. Drop. Not bearish enough. Some people might consider that bearish. It's certainly
order
cancelled.
Bearish
And bullish, but
order submitted.
in all fairness, I can categorically say we haven't had a break yet. Because it touches this first swing, touches perfectly, and the back end, it's perfect as well. Touches perfect. I like that channel. I think it's really good and really solid. So we've had a leg down, another couple of legs up, another leg down. So I think we're going to continue on down. I'll be surprised if we don't make a new low, but it's just obviously finding a decent entry to go short. Let's just get this out of the way of it. So we can get a lower high or something. But I don't mind a couple of legs of correction and then down in a wider channel. That'd be fine for me. It is looking bearish. So that would something that may interest me. Leg and a leg. Let's see what happens. Is there anything bigger working? Possible, but not at the moment. What I am going to do is just put a line there, just out of curiosity. I do like the way it's hugging there. It may be something, but I'm just putting it out there just out of curiosity rather than... Okay, so let's see what's going on here. So, touch. I think that's a lovely fit-in channel. So we've had a break. So that's just a push-up. There's the break, one leg, maybe 2 legs, maybe 1 leg, 2 leg. Just be interested if we bounce off here a few times and come down, then there may be a bigger channel. Okay, leg and a leg. So let's have a look. Let's just remember I've got this up there. Okay, that's a good sign. I'll never take the first one. I always wait for the lower high, just in case I got it wrong.
Order cancelled.
So leg. This is okay. This is okay. What I will say, that's always a possibility. I'm clutching now. Let's remove that. Okay, so we've had a leg. So we've had a leg and a leg. If we can start to work down, maybe a failure or a high through the EMA, There's always the possibility that it's ranging, but I don't think it is. We based off the overnight lows. Yeah. We closed below them as well, didn't we? So, wow, no stopping that, is there? So there was high-low there, but it's a doji. I'm not particularly a fan of that. I'd much prefer to have a second entry short triggered to go long above it, really, because obviously you hit the stop, so that gives you that added momentum. Okay, maybe. Maybe there is. Maybe we're in a range. Okay, so I didn't expect that, actually, especially after such a nice channel down with a break. But this gets me to think that we're in a range. Okay, so leg down, we've had a break. Leg down break, made one attempt to go higher, maybe a second attempt to go higher, and then maybe down. We shall see. One attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher, that would take us to the tops. Yeah, you know me, mate. I hate picking tops and bottoms. It depends. Sometimes, if it's a bit more obvious, I will have a go at them. But I'm not a fan. So what I'm seeing here is a leg down with a break. We've made one attempt to go higher. Coming back down. This is the second attempt to go higher. So if this fails and we come down, I can see us dropping out the bottom. I'm starting to pay attention to how many times we get a bounce in here. And a lot of the cases when we do have a break, we get two bounces at the top and we go down. Or vice versa, depends. Oh, that's kind of like that. So, touching a bunch of times here, perfectly. There, and now here. Let's see if we push up, maybe we get a higher low. We're not at the tops yet. A lot of the times if you're short here, it continues on up. Too big for me, that one, but I'd say it's likely to get to the top rather quickly. If I would have taken that, it would have given me points quickly, but probably wouldn't have got in there. Let's have a look. I'd have taken 3 points to the top there because there's plenty of room, surprisingly enough. Yeah, that'll hit that top. Surely will. It's surprising that little bit of a difference always fills in. A lot of the times I always try to get out a little bit further, but it's amazing how many times it actually still pushes and hits that target perfectly. So that's where my 3 points. I'll be confident it's going to do that as well. Two ticks. Well, they're giving me 3 points. One and one more for luck. There we go. Yeah, so it's only really one leg, unfortunately. So it does make it more risky. But after a push like that off here, I'll be quite confident that that was going up. But it doesn't follow my rules, and I mean, it's touching perfectly along there, perfectly there, and near enough there. And as soon as it hit that, woof, up it went, which tells me there's a lot of buyers there. So to push that up like that, you're going to have quite a few buyers. So it's probably not a bad entry anyway, and it clearly hit the points. But unfortunately for me, it's only a with my strategy, it's only a first entry. Can't even call it a hidden first entry. We just got bars there, but big, smaller, 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 smaller. Up we go. Okay, now what I want to short here, the fact that we've got 3 bars hitting that is a good sign, which means it's tried a few times to get up. So if we maybe get a lower high, I might have a go. But we've had a small break out the bottom here, so I expect the same here, which we have. But there is always the possibility that we could be in a bigger range and it may come back up to these highs. I don't think so. Looking on the daily, I wouldn't expect it. Okay, there's a lower high. Kind of glad that finished naff because I just hate taking them. Now I know we're still in this channel, but in all fairness, is it a channel? It probably is. That certainly was. There was no hesitation about that breaking and making a new low. It just rocketed straight up. So if we're in a range, it doesn't really matter if we're in a channel, does it? If it hits the bottom and we haven't already had a break, it just turns. So there is a possibility that could continue up, or it just might be a breakout the same as this. So if you well, you probably wouldn't have taken that short anyway, and there wasn't a lower high really. That was as good as a doji. It's a neutral bar really, so I don't think anybody would have got stuck there. I have reloaded my historic data. There is a possibility that might look a bit bearish in yours, but I'd never take that first one anyway. If I was going to take one, I'd usually wait for the lower high. I've just learnt the hard way, waiting for confirmation. So many times if you have a break, I always wait for the higher low. Yeah, you take a few less trades, but you rule out a lot of the losses then. So it swings around about you. You're no worse off, I don't think. So that 50% retracement didn't really do much. We came up and bounced, I thought, after that, after it literally ticked it. And then we had 2 legs down and another attempt, and then down we went. I expected to break and continue for another leg, but market has other ideas. So let's have a look. So if you would have taken that one and you'd have held on, then you'd have done all right, but you'd have never guessed it was going to do that. So I don't think that's a breakout. We've had a breakout, it's come back. We've had a breakout, it's gone sideways, it's continued higher. So okay, push out, maybe retest this. If we can get a nice bullish bar, then I might have a crack at that.
Order submitted.
Second entry long, if it works nice from there. We've come back, we've had a breakout as we come back and retested it. So if that finishes bullish, Might have a go at that.
Order filled.
Okay, we're in. Second entry long, off the key entry point. I think that's all right. I like the way we've come back and had a bounce off here. We've bounced off the top and we bounced there, so I like that. We'll get out before here. Yeah. Come on. Okay. I wanted to get out for the highs there. That's why I came back. Yeah, let's get out here. It's going a bit sideways. I don't like that.
Target filled.
Okay, that'll do me. It may go higher. It probably will, but out for a 1.5 again. I just wanted to get out before the lows. I don't like the way it came up there, came back a bit. It's probably going to launch up. And I like the way we've come back, and there is plenty of room to the highs, but sometimes I don't know. I don't know. You just get a feeling, don't you? Okay, well, it's worked out nicely there. It would have worked perfectly. Sometimes you just got to have the patience to, but I expect that. But what I didn't like is the way it pushed up and it came back. I thought, oh, is it going to break above there? Because obviously you usually want to be out before the highs, but there we go. But at the end of the day, I got, well, if I'd have waited there, I'd have lost 2.5 points. So sometimes by not being too greedy, you can get yourself out of a sticky situation. But that's a nice second entry long. But we are above this. So, you know what I mean? And obviously the day's looking bearish. So there we go anyway, but I'm happy with that. So I'm up 3 points for the day. So that's good. I'm happy with that. You could call that a higher low. There's probably going to be some shorts there, but I'm in and I'm out and I'm happy. So second entry long and plus 1.5 points. Happy days. I don't know, sometimes I just get a feeling, and what I was noticing there is those bars were getting smaller. And that just concerns me sometimes, because I thought when we've had a second entry, see, sometimes for me, if I see a good setup, I'd say a lot of traders get in it if it's a really good setup, and if it does, it usually reacts, and that just didn't react from the nice setup as strong as I thought it would do. Which is, it just kept coming back a bit and kept coming back, so that just makes me a little bit nervous, and I'm a tick off getting stopped out there if I'd have held. So what did it go up? It went up to 75 points. Now I usually have mine set to 3 points, and there I would have said I would probably expect that to go higher. And once we got above this, but it just turned, so I don't know, sometimes you just get a feeling. I'm noticing, one thing I'm noticing over my time I've been trading now, you get, I call it a gut feeling. I put a gut feeling down to experience is telling me something doesn't feel right. So some people might call a gut feeling just a guess, but for me it's something that doesn't feel right. So before it pissed around too much and came down, I got out for a 1.5. So I'm pleased about that. So sometimes, you know, I'll sit in there a bit longer. Other times, something's not right and I'll just get out. In fact, we've had a break. There could be a triple test here and then pushed up. I thought that would push to there, and I thought after that it would rocket up. But as soon as it got above there, it turned. Now that's quite a nice looking bar. And that's probably going to push higher. But it's not quite as bullish as I wanted. It's not a higher low. Something doesn't feel right, because that turned down quickly. After that bar there, I thought that was going to shoot up. We'll run 42.45. I'd expect so, yeah, or at least up here. But, you know, sometimes when it goes up like that and then it turns, why would it turn there after such a good bar? That's what just makes me a bit concerned. And then we've come down there. So, I don't know. I just feel like there may be some long traps here and it might come down, but maybe that's me being a bit paranoid. But sometimes, you know, if you take a trade and you're quite pleased, it's worked nice. Sometimes you can get a bit too confident and think, oh, let's have another go. And then all of a sudden it turns down and you end up down. But I just don't know. Because the MA's 200. Oh, okay, I got you. I just have a feeling, okay, I'm probably a bit paranoid. I had a feeling that might have just come down. But yeah, I'm glad I came out, because I wouldn't have wanted to sit through all that. I always like to get out on that first push. Unfortunately, when these bars started getting smaller, I just had a feeling time to get out. But what I do notice is sometimes when you do get these good entries and they go sideways, often that stop still stays intact, which it did there. I see that quite a bit when you get a good setup. Because what I find happens sometimes, it goes up, it comes down, it goes up, it comes down, and at some point you get out, and usually it ends up going up for the points you got. But those bars just seem to lose momentum, and I thought this is the last place it should lose momentum, because we're coming up to the top, so expect another leg. Still plenty of room up to these highs. But there you go. I just have a feeling sometimes, you know, I've done this before and tried to get it a trade, and all of a sudden picks up some longs and then just drops and takes out the stops. And that's what I think is going to happen here. So there'll be some stops there, quite possibly, and some stops there. Let's see if it breaks through here. Perhaps it's me being a bit paranoid. I don't mind being a bit paranoid, because sometimes, I don't know, it's all part of the journey, isn't it? You go through all these different phases. Okay, so there's a higher low there. It's a nice looking bar, but what I will say is we've tried to get up here a few times, and every time we've got up there, it's turned quick. Same again. So I think this is going to come down and take out any stops. So if you took that one, did it trigger below? I don't know. Let's see. Wednesday should be a while past peaks. There is some news tomorrow as well, I believe, isn't there? I heard, what's it? Talking about it earlier, top pick trader guy. I think he had the Forex Factor up looking at some news. When it does this, and I've got into trades before, it's come down and stopped me out, and this looks like that type of trade where it's going up, it came down, and it went up again, it came down, and it seems to be struggling at that same point. And what I find is it's sucking longs in here, there'll be longs in there. That might be okay. That one won't, in my opinion. That's going to get stopped out, although it is a higher low. But whenever I see this, trying, and there are long opportunities for me, the traps. And that might be me being a bit Mr. Paranoid, but you get a gut feeling, don't you? And that gut feeling, I find, helps me out in more cases than not. And if I was in that trade now, I'd be changing my underwear. So I think it'll stop that out. Maybe down here, it may come down to this line. Be interested to see if that holds, because often that one does. Sometimes it just flushes down and then has another go. I thought as much. But do you know what I'm saying? See, we've got a nice higher low there, really nice looking bar. There's going to be some shorts there, traps. There's going to be some short stops there. There's going to be some short stops there. It's not a bad looking trade. You know, we've had a break. We've pushed up a little bit, come back. Nice high low. What happens? Trigger stops out. You know, it's just, I see this so many times, and I've taken trades like that, thinking, sound, here we go. As soon as we get above here and here, we're going to rock it up. There's me target. But lately, for some reason, it just doesn't work. Sometimes it comes down, takes stops out, and then goes up anyway. There's a second entry long there. I'd probably be less inclined to take that one than that one, because that's looking nice and bullish above the EMA. That's closed below the EMA, and the EMA is going flat. But I definitely don't want to get into a long here. It may work and it may go up, but it's just traps galore for me. You'd have got out there for a couple of points anyway, but that one you wouldn't have done. But you can see, can't you? I mean, you think we've had a nice channel up there, we've had a break. What are we going to do? Do extreme. So where can I go long here? That one possibly. Okay, so you're in there, expecting to get above here. So far, you're okay. If you miss that one, you've got a high-low. Brilliant. One leg up, two legs up, take us above here, and away we go. And if you took that one, which I don't think was a bad trade, Trigger just stopped you out and ended up going in that direction anyway. So, strange, isn't it? So, maybe the second entry was the key, but for me, it was below the EMA. EMA is going flat. And after that one's got stopped out, I'd be less inclined to take that one, although that one worked nicely. Thank you. Chris, how are you, mate? How are you keeping? Has anybody looked into that software that Nutty was talking about the other week? The, what's it called? Begins with CH, doesn't it? What is it? Church. What is it? It'll come to me. Good man, how are you doing? Oh, I'm all right, mate. Guardian Angel, yeah. Anybody picked up on that? Laufey, how you doing, my friend? How you doing? Yeah, it is. Guardian Angel it was. Yeah. I haven't done it. Although it may be something for the future. I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing. But at the moment, I'm just trading the 1 PA at the moment. I want to concentrate on the one and building that. I want to do it the way I should have done it in the beginning. Started with one, built it up. When I get a payment, get a couple more, and just keep adding it to that and reducing. So since I've reduced the contract, this is day 8. Since I've reduced my contract, actually I say day 7 is. I've done 8 days, but one I didn't trade, and it's working out nice. It's averaging $100 a day, which for me is actually okay. It's $2,000 a month per account. You got 10 accounts. You got a nice living there. So yeah, Guardian Angel, because I know he was having the thing about Nutty. Is he I don't know how the hell he gets the money from. He's back up to 20 PAs now. But he trades NQ, doesn't he? So he doesn't seem to have any type of a strategy. It's always like he's sort of learning as he goes. But he's actually a really nice guy, actually. But I believe he's used. I chat to him a couple of times. Sometimes I'll pop on his stream for 10 minutes and just have a little chit chat. In the evenings, he trades a longer day and later than me. But he's a nice guy, actually. That's how you do it. Absolutely. There is a nice wide channel. Do you know, I was just going to look at that. Let's have a wee look. Where you on about? You on about from here or from the bottom? You would probably think there. You on about there or from the bottom? Oh, that's possible. Leg sideways. Yeah, that might not be too bad. Let me just change that colour. Yellow, I think. Yeah, a couple of legs up, and then we've gone sideways. We often do that, don't we? When we put a sort of match up for let's get rid of that. A bigger channel, we go up, and then we go sideways, and when we start to bounce, that's usually an indicator of maybe a higher low there. Actually, a failure, tell a lie. Second entry short triggered there. Failure. Bars and F. Is that what you're on about, Dean? Is it? You're on about from the bottom, or you're on about more of a more of this type of trade? In fact, I don't like the way that's breaking. Let's I'm not sure about that. What I'm trying to do, I notice what I'm doing. One of my light niggles is doing bigger channels too soon. Now, it's good to be aware of bigger channels, sure, but I get a bit too focused on them. And I noticed on Friday, we had that sort of big leg down, didn't we? Was it Friday? And it just kept going. Yeah, it was. It just kept going, and I had a bigger thing, and I kept missing the smaller stuff, and I must have missed probably at least a couple of trades. I think that may have been one of them. Was there something there? Yeah, that one there. There was another sort of couple of legs up there. There was a lower high there. And I had this bigger channel thinking it was going to push up. So what I do is I look at what I did the day before and looked if I've missed anything. And it did seem that I seem to be getting a bit too focused on the bigger stuff, and I'm missing some of the small stuff, and that's okay. That's okay. I don't mind doing that because I'm learning. Sometimes you go with the bigger stuff, sometimes you go with the smaller stuff, but I think it's important to focus on the smaller stuff. And then you don't miss it then, you know, I mean, if yes, if I'd have had that like that, you know, you may not have marked that or take that one, but I don't think that was a bad trade now thinking about it, but I still don't get, I'm not very confident when I get away from the EMA. The EMA is my little sort of my little protection barrier, if you like. But sometimes if you do the bigger stuff, you miss out on the small stuff. And as we only go for sort of a couple of points on average, I think, you know, if I was going for 10 or 20 points throughout the afternoon, then the bigger channels would be sort of more valuable. But that's okay. I don't mind doing stuff that, because if I notice, I learn and I move on. I think next time. But the more I do this trading, the more I actually enjoy it, and the more I actually respect people. Because I remember the first videos I started watching of Mac, and he said it was like a doctor. It's a real skill. A doctor or a solicitor, it's a real skill. And I'm thinking, how can it be? A doctor goes to university for about 5 years. He's already got A-levels or whatever accordingly. So how can it be? Now, it might be a different type of practice. It might be more academic, a doctor, but it doesn't necessarily mean trading doesn't take equally long. This is the study of human behaviour. Now, yeah, we're not writing complicated letters about surgeries and people's medical conditions and all this sort of stuff. But equally, it can take years, this, can't it? I've been trading coming up 3 years. 3 years in, I think, beginning of December, I bought my first book. And 2.5 years on this. And I feel like I'm getting to understand it more and more, but I can absolutely see another 3 years on top of this. I would learn one hell of a lot more. That would put me at the 6 years category. So, yeah, absolutely. You just keep getting better and better. A spiking channel, so you're going from here, are you? But yeah, it's different in the way that it's a doctor. Yeah, you're not academic. You're not going to university and spending, and all this sort of time. But it takes equally as long. It really does. I know people who've been trading 5 or 6 years and still struggling to make any sort of consistent profits. Now, what I will say, it obviously does make a difference on how long, sort of how many hours or you can trade a day or how many put in. Now, obviously, some people have got full-time jobs and families, and you haven't always got that time. But fortunately for me, it's probably a bit easier than you US guys. General market hours for you is from 9:30 in the morning. That's the start of your day, whereas 2:30 in the afternoon. So, I've got the option. Even if I work a normal 9 to 5, I can still trade for another 3 hours, 3.5 hours of an evening, at least. Whereas you guys sort of work from 9 to 5, markets are shut, so you're a little bit stuck, really. But whenever I do take on a task, I absolutely get obsessed with it. So I put a lot of time into this, and as I say, I'm fortunate enough to not have to worry about trading until the afternoon. So I've got options. But yeah, I fully understand now. Well, he talks about things like a doctor. That's how long it takes, and absolutely can do. But what I will say, one thing I've really noticed, and I can't emphasize this enough, you reduce your risk and you reduce your stress. It's absolutely night and day. Now, I'm not saying I still don't like taking a loss. Of course I don't. But I know a loss even on a pretty sizey bar is only $150. Even 2 losses in a row, you can cover from $300 a day. You double that, and then you've lost a third of your account. Things get a little bit trickier then. But absolutely, going down to one contract, I'm actually quite enjoying my day. I don't feel nowhere near as knackered. Usually, come the end of the trading day, I'm physically knackered or mentally knackered. Because it's just that stress constantly. It's like walking on a knife edge, but I don't feel it now. It almost feels like I'm trading an evaluation where there's just a little bit of apprehension, but nothing that's, going to cause me to do anything stupid. So, fingers crossed. This might be the thing that, sort of starts to move me to the next level where I can start to hold accounts for longer than a couple of months. And yeah, slow and steady is the key. This is what's this, day 7? Day 7, and I'm up to $700, so You can still earn. I mean, some weeks we're going back a couple of months, month and a half. Some weeks I was earning $300-400 a week from 2 contracts because the market was just naff. Okay, so that measured legs played out beautifully. So remember what I mentioned about that bar? A lot of the times when you get a decent signal bar, it holds. And look, that never came back. It's still holding. So sometimes they do hold the good signal bars. So what I might do here is drag that down to there. Maybe not. Do I call that an overshoot? I'm not convinced. Because this is more sidewards. In fact, I don't even like that channel. So, have a little look here. I'm wondering. So that measured move's played out, so we can bin that. Yeah, it's possible that. I didn't expect it. Okay, so it is starting to look like a range day unless this continues on up. So I think that is just like that for now. The break and a new high. Yeah, it's sideways with a slight upwards bit, so I would say this is probably a separate channel. It depends. There may be a bigger channel there. It is possible. In fact, what I might do is just kill out the colour, just in case. Okay, so if this is just a range and we're ranging, obviously there's areas we can come up to here to at least here, so there's no reason why we shouldn't continue on up. There's clearly a bit of resistance here, which is pushed up and using its support now. So if we can bounce here and maybe get a higher low, then I'm not going to take this first one. Let me just get rid of that because I like that. Touch, touch, touch. I'm going to wait for a higher low just in case I got that wrong, but I kind of like that. Touch, 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 but push down. Okay, maybe not. I'm just going to leave that like that for now. If I can't make it fit, I'm not going to try and force it. Break. Excuse me, just for 1 second. I'm just going to have a quick piece. Sam, how you doing, Sam? I did use Bookmap on and off for about maybe a couple of months, and I found, unless we were sort of trending nicely, it didn't really make a massive amount of difference. So, I don't know. There you go. Quick bathroom break. I'll be 1 minute. Okay. Interesting. I thought we may get a leg and a leg and some, with this one, some continuation, but I'm not so sure actually. Okay, channel down, break, new low. What are we doing here? It does look like we are coming down, doesn't it? So channel break, 2 pushes down to a new low. Okay, I'm liking that. Touch. We came down there, we came back. That's our next swing for me, so I like that. Wow, look at that. So yeah, we're ranging down, up, down, up. Is that an overshoot? I think it's possible. Let me just have a look. I squeeze that up a bit. Maybe a little bit. We got 2 legs there. So a leg and a leg. Okay, so that's possible. We could push back up. We've actually come down to this midline, so we've come down, we've had a quick push, and that is definitely a bit of an overshoot, so maybe that's a higher low. So I'm just letting it do its thing. Maybe an overshoot. It's not massively convincing, but I'm just a bit unclear as what we're doing at the moment, maybe. So we've had a break push up, maybe a couple of legs back, and it's going to continue on up. So it's on that 200 EMA again, is it? Excuse me a second. Okay. What are we doing here? Yeah, I'm not convinced that's a... sometimes when we get an overshoot, we come up, we make one more low before we push up. So this will be interesting to see. That's if that is an overshoot. Let's just pop that back. Let's see. So sometimes we get an overshoot. We pull back a little bit and then go down and bounce, and then off we go. If we get a couple of legs out, I can't take a shorty because of that overshoot. I'm not saying it's going to do that, but I'm just putting it out there just out of curiosity, because sometimes when you take a rough stab and it goes up that way, it just you're in tune with what's going on. So okay, maybe slightly steeper. Yeah, so I am considering that as an overshoot the way that's pushed up. It'd be nice to trap some shorts here, because if we can trap some shorts and have maybe a couple of legs back, then I may go long there. Let's see. I had a feeling that was going to go up, but I didn't think it would go up so strong. Oh, kind of fits actually, doesn't it? I wonder. Okay. I mean, that's a rough stab in the dark, but you never know, do you? Okay, couple of legs back. Come on. Come back. Okay, so a clear ranging. We had that push out. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know whether it is a channel and then a break, and then we'll push it up to make a new high. It is a possibility. We've only come up so far the way, maybe 3/4 of the way, so there is a distance to come up. And then we had that channel down there with an overshoot. In most cases, an overshoot can result in a reversal. And we pushed that. We came down, we had a break, we pushed back up, dropped down, and started pushing up in this angle, which I thought we may do. So if we can get something here, then I do expect it to break these highs, preferably to get up to the top. So that's the highs at the moment. So if we can get something here, let's have a look. So we've got a leg up. There's a higher low there. I actually kind of like that.
Order
So I'm going
filled.
to take that. Got a leg up and a leg up.
Target filled.
Okay, what did I get there? Could get out from the top, but sometimes I like getting in and out. Things are going well today, so sometimes it's just nice to get in and get out. What did I do there? 7.5. So 2.25 points. That will do me. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that, mate. 2 points. It's been a while since I've had 3 winning trades in one day. So that's a higher low. I just liked it. It's working now. We got a leg there. We came back a bit sideways. Touch there. Touch there. That's all the way for me. So higher low. Higher low. Plus 2.25 points. Excellent. Leg up, leg up. I certainly expect to hit this high, but you know, when you just have a couple of nice trades and I'm thinking I've already got 2.25 points, I might as well just take it now and call myself through for the day. But yeah, we had an overshoot there. I did put a channel there. I thought it might take it. The channel I put was a little bit wider, but same thing. But the thing is, by identifying what's going on and putting a channel there, if you're reading the market and it goes off in the direction you expected it, it just gives you more and more confidence that you're reading things right. And ultimately, what we're trying to do is read people's minds, I suppose, for want of a better word. Took similar one. Done for the day. Good on you, mate. Great start to the week. Cheers. Good on you. Yeah, so we had this leg up, a little bit of side. We often do this. We see it all the time, don't we? In a channel, we come down, we go sideways, we come down, we go sideways, we come down. So we went up after the overshoot sideways, and then that was a high low from there, and it was on there nice, so as far as I'm concerned. But now I do expect it to get here, but sometimes it's not making these measured moves lately. We had a leg there, it didn't do what I expected it. Leg there, more of a measured move. So sometimes the measured moves just play out so accurately, and other days they're a bit all over the place. But I got out the right time there, although it did, it would have taken me right up, but I got out the right place. My stop did hold, but see what's going on here. So I'm quite glad again I got out. So sometimes I think, when things are working, we had a day, I don't know, about a week and a half ago, where just every measured move played out perfectly. It was almost like, it was like a mathematician who wrote everything fitted perfectly. It was so predictable and so readable. And days like that, you've got to capitalise. But when things are a little bit, I didn't quite figure out what was going on there. We had that channel, then we sort of went sideways and up a bit, and then a couple of legs down. But for me, I think it's likely we're going to... there's something there, although I'm not... So it may be a couple of legs and then push up again. But we've obviously got all this vacant area up here at the top of a range. So I think there's a good chance it's going to get up there. But high or low for me, I think it was worth it. But not a trade that may hold on for a lot of points, because it could have a break and it could come down to it. It may just nick that. But what did it go for anyway? So it went for... Hold on a minute. Where did I get in on it then if I got 2.25 points? Oh, I must have got it right. I got it right at the very... That was a stroke of luck, wasn't it? Is that right, is it? 7.5, 8.5, 2.25 points. I got another limit order right on the top, and I got out right at the very bar. Yeah, so I do like that. And it went for, well, if you got it on a limit order, it went for exactly 2.25 points. So it certainly went for a scalp. I like the bar. I won't be shocked if it holds. But, sometimes it's still a little bit sideways in, a bit, unpredictable. That one held there because I like the bar, and I think that'll hold if it does push up. So sometimes those decent bars just hold. Let's see whether that's going to... so far, so good. I'm not convinced so now. This EMA is the 21-day exponential moving average. So for our strategies, just as a magnet, really, ideally a great place. Well, it may be the same for all strategies, but good place to take a trade. The channel is one, and obviously if we can get that to merge at the same time, it just makes it even better. Which is why I'm surprised that failed. because we'd had a break. We'd had one attempt higher, and we came down, and in fact, it was a failure, that was. I'm really surprised that one didn't work, because I like that. Okay, but yeah, that stop did hold, and it looks like this stop's holding as well. Thing is, sometimes you get out for 2 points and it goes up for 10. Sometimes you get out for 2.25 points and it goes to 2.25 points. So at the end of the day, sometimes you just get enough and sometimes you miss out on a load. So it swings and roundabouts, really, isn't it? Sometimes you might wait for a bit more, then you might get stung. But so far, that stop's intact, as was that. So if you do get a nice bar, often it just does hold. So whether it will or not, it's trying to get up, but you never know, do you? But it is a little bit unpredictable. Okay, there's a possible failed second entry long there, depending on how you count that. It hasn't been triggered, so... And do you find it most useful? Absolutely, yeah. For me, it's like the equivalent of a parachute for a skydiver, shall we say? Yeah, it's where we like it to come back to take trade. So if I was going to take that trade, great place to take it. You know, that bar there, it's just, you know, for a long, the closer that is, especially the body, I mean, a bar like that, the setup isn't fantastic there anyway, but, sorry, the contact isn't right, but a bar sitting like that is perfect for us. And same there, there's a higher low there. I like that bar. It could have been a bit bullish, but I think that's going to push straight up there and above this. It's a higher low, but when it comes down to the EMA and then pushes up and sits above it, it's nice. Not perfect looking bar, but for me, yeah, the EMAs, it's just like a magnet. We use it when it comes back to it and then to take off again. So it's almost like a trampoline, really, isn't it? Generally, you want to go up with a trampoline, don't you? But now and again, you'll come down, bounce back off, and if you bounce in the right area, everything should be good when you go up. But yeah, it's almost like a crutch. See, we came back there perfectly. That was... I'm assuming all the EMAs are the same, are they? But do you all use them as the same? I don't know. Trampoline, yeah. The idea with a trampoline is to try and go up, isn't it? But you've got to come down first, and if you bounce in the right... Yeah, okay, so that's worked fine there. I kind of like that. I'd have preferred it a little bit higher, though. Sorry, yeah, the bar a little bit higher, but apart from that, it was okay. So same again, the stop held there. So sometimes these really nice bars where you get more traders taking trades from, the stops tend to become a bit safer. I suppose the more stops there, the more it takes to push to get rid of them. Is that the case, maybe? Same with there as well. Luck it held. It came close a few times. Same there, it came close. And there. But it never ticked through, so happy days. So good day so far. So we're up point and a half, 5.25 points. That will do me for a day. Not bad at all. If I'd be up 5.25 points every day, I'd be a happy bloke. So that channel is at a break and a new high now. We're going to continue on higher. I'd say so, but who knows? The trouble is you never know when it might just start going sideways. There's a possible failure there. There may be a few shorts trapped there. I'm not sure whether many would take that short, to be fair, but there is a failure. So... unfortunately, I can't take it because we've already had a break of this and a new high, even though I do expect it to go higher. Just a little bit more risky because it's already pushed up. And another thing that makes it a bit more risky as well, in my opinion, is the fact that we are a little bit sideways. So it could trigger it and stop it out. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it does. I used Bookmap for a while and I lost more money. Really? Initially, I thought it helped me. But after a while, I just felt like, I suppose you never quite know till you use these things. But what I will say is it may have helped a bit more if I'd have really got to... It doesn't take long to understand how it works, but to use it really effectively, I think you need to spend a lot of time looking into it, which is probably what I never did. But what I will say is I trade Max system, which is pure price action. So effectively, what I use, you're looking at it, this is it. The only actual indicator we use is this 21-day exponential moving average. Apart from that, it's just a bunch of blooming lines, really. It's trend channels and range channels. That's about it. But that's kind of the thing I like about this. The less on the screen, the less indicators. Sometimes more indicators can give you sort of conflicting thoughts on what's happening. I'm not saying if you know how to use them all, they're not effective, but I kind of like the raw sort of decision making just on what I'm seeing, and it can be incredibly effective. You talk about people talking about 90-95% trades, and if certain trades they just do not fail. I'm yet to see a trade that I think is a brilliant trade to fail. It just does not happen. I don't quite know why. I never thought trading can be that accurate, but price action, this particular strategy, it really is. But obviously, the ones, that trade there, is it a great trade? I think it's a pretty good trade. I expect it to make a new high, and it did. It's a second entry along. It confirms that channel. Is it one of the best trades out there? No. I'd say it's an 8.5, 8 3/4 out of 10. So I'd expect that to work, maybe 8.5 times out of 10, maybe a bit more. That one there, is that a great trade? I don't think it's a bad trade. That to me is indicating we're going higher, and it clearly made the point. Is that a great trade? I'd say that's probably an 8. But some trades, I'd say, are a 10 out of 10. They just do not fail. It's uncanny. I didn't think trading can be that accurate, but I can sit here now, and if you said to me, I'll give you £1 million if you take a 2-point trade, I would sit here so I saw a perfect second entry, long or short, and I could categorically say I would be confident that would work every time. The only reason I would say they don't work is if there's some kind of maybe a glitch in the news, something comes out that creates, I don't know, you can work, you know what I mean. If nothing happens in the news, because obviously price action would trade in very small time frames, and it doesn't take a lot to move this market. Obviously you can see it moving. If you trade the hourly, it's a lot smaller. So, news, any type of news will have more of an effect on a chart like this than maybe an hourly or 4 hourly or something like that. But as long as there's no issues with the news, that I can say now, really good setups do not fail. I would say 95, 98%, maybe more. I'm yet to see one. There are trades I've taken where I can't figure out why they failed, but the more experience you get, I could say now, any trade that failed now, I could tell you why. And you might think, well, why take it? Because sometimes, these are fast-moving charts and you have maybe a second or two at the last minute to make a decision, and sometimes you can just misread something or misjudge something or miss a bigger picture. And, you know, that's just a human mistake. But obviously, the better you get at it, they get. But yeah, I'm amazed how I've had people speak to me and say, oh, they just never had any luck with Pats. You know, they tried it for a couple of years and they just can't make it work. And my solution to that is that it just takes a bit longer than they may have given it, because I've been doing this religiously for 2.5 years. I've been trading it full time for over a year, and you would not believe the hours and hours and hours I see. You know, Max chart comes out at 1 a.m. I get up for a pee every night. I always walk downstairs, I always watch Max chart. So I spend a lot of time reading and studying and trading, and that's why I'm quite confident this would now. But it's taken a lot of time, way more time than I'd ever expect it to take to learn a strategy. I thought learning a strategy would take a few months, but learning the strategy and apply it to the context, that's the tricky part. But, you know, some people struggle with it, and it just might, you know, certain strategies might be better for certain people. There was a time where I maybe thought of pushing away from this because I thought it moved a bit too fast for me. But it's like anything, the more you do it, you know what I mean? There you go. You're looking at that high-low there. Second entry long, that one there. Yeah, I actually like the trade. My only slight concern is a little bit sideways, and we have broken a new high. But apart from that, I like it. You took that one or that one. Either one of those. I like that one as well, actually, the higher low. Now, bearing in mind, we've had a break. We've made 2 attempts to go lower, so I'm okay with going long. And that, I think, was okay for 2 points. It's a higher low, and it's quite an obvious signal we're going up there. Obviously, you don't know whether we're going to get a pullback, but that would have made 2 points, I think. Yeah, you'd have got 2 points out of that. 2.25 at a squeeze. But we've pushed up, we've had a break, and we've made 2 attempts to go lower. Second entry long there, nice bullish bar there, higher low, finishing on its high. That's all right, didn't take the higher low because not. Yeah, do you know, sometimes I don't mind doing that if I'm confident. Because what I'll say a lot of times when we get a break in the way of a perfect 2-legged correction, and then we get a higher low that's above this, sometimes I don't mind taking it, because after the 2-legged correction, for me, I'm confident enough to say we're going to have another leg up. So to take a higher low at the start of what I think is another leg up, I don't mind doing that. And I'm yet to, same again, to find one to fail. As long as I'm, you know, as long as I'm not at the top of a range or something like that. But if we get a nice leg up and we get, like, say, you know, a nice sort of 2-legged correction, we see this all the time, don't we? We get a leg up and then we get something like that. We do see it a lot. Obviously, context is, you know, you've got to take the context. But if we get something like that and we have a break and we have a 2-legged correction and a nice bullish bar, and then we have a higher low there at the highs, I've got no problem with going long there. If it's a good signal for me, it's going up. But I've only sort of known that by just sitting and watching the charts. But yeah, you watch, we get a really nice 2-legged correction, and we often get a really nice measured leg from that. Sometimes those measured legs, I mean, are literally massively accurate. But sometimes it might be a little bit short. But I'm quite happy getting in here and then maybe getting out for a few points. But if we get that, 2 legs of correction and a really nice bullish bar as a higher low, I'll 100% take that, even if it's slightly higher than the highs. Because they just work. We do look like we're going up here. There is a failure there. Short's trapped. So there's a second entry short there. There have been traders taking a short there. I like the way it's triggered and then pushed up. So for me, we'll continue on and up. My only slight concern is we didn't, when we pushed above there, I thought we might get a little bit more of a push, but But yeah, I expect it's like anything really. The more you see these trades working, the more you see them work. That's why Matt goes on about chart time. Because he'll be taking, I'll tell you for now, he'll be taking trades that he doesn't teach because he knows how to trade them. And the more you see these patterns, the more you see him working and pushing up and doing exactly what you expect them. At some point, you're going to start trading them. So leg up, 2 legs of correction. I expect another leg up. So let's put that there. Maybe a bit higher. I actually really like that. I really like that. I bet that makes 2 points, although I'm not taking it. I bet it makes 2 points. I like the way we've come out and we've tested the tops a bit there. We've come back in and we've reversed really strongly. See, it's a first entry, second entry, third entry. It's like a fourth entry, something like that. So you wouldn't normally take it in max thing, but I really like it. So let's see if the stop holds and it hits them 2 points. So now it's come down and touched that perfectly. Let's see if it works. I mean, max rules is you wouldn't take it because there's only a tick or two to the high, but sometimes just things just look good. Yes, if somebody marked that, if Matt marked that, he'd get he'd get ripped to shit. Because people say, why'd you go high low, 2 ticks from the why'd you go high, 2 ticks from the top? And it was about a fourth entry. Just because it looks good. We've pushed out of this, we've come back. We've come back a few times to try and touch this, and we've pushed below it and then reversed really quickly. But as sort of my skills develop, I'll start taking stuff like that. But every time I see this work, I just puts a little notch on my brain for next time, maybe, or the time after that. Failure there. Trigger once, trigger twice, failure. Not a great bearish bar to trigger, though. I prefer a failure from a triggered bearish bar. But I still think it'll make the 2 points. Tick straight through it there by 1 tick. It'll go higher, I'm pretty sure, up to this measured leg. Well, that move. There we go. But you can just tell, can't you? We go sideways, we push up once, we push out the top, we come back, retest it. Lovely looking bullish bar. You just expect that to work, don't you? What did it go for? A bit more. I'd have taken the 2 points on there, but it went for 3. You'd have got 3. By now. Risk is higher than profit. Because I scalp, I tend to like to look at that. I tend to like to try and go for 1-to-1 at the moment because it's a bit choppy. I tend to go for a little bit less, but what was the risk on that one there? What was the risk? That's a good job I got out of that. I would have been out there anyway. You know, I'm not crazy. I'm not going to just sit and wait for it to get to the top. But what was that bar? I took that one there. So the risk there was 3 points, and I took 2.7. So it's not far off 1-to-1. In fact, I got in there at a limit order, didn't I? Right on the button. So I was there, wasn't I? So my stop would have been there. So yeah, 3 points. Sometimes, what I'm saying at the moment, it's going up, but very slowly, and sometimes it just drops back. I mean, look at that. If you put your stop there, look at that. It came back, and it didn't stop it out. It's exactly the same place and that. So sometimes, if I know what's going on, then I'll sit in a little bit longer. But other times I like to just get in and out. But I'd like to get to 1-2. In fact, I'd like to get a bit more. In fact, I have my my automatic thing set at 3 points, which is where I kind of like to be. But I like the fact that I got out there because it came back, although it would have held. That one, if I'd have taken anything more, I'd have lost because I misjudged that one. Obviously, that one didn't come back, or it did actually, didn't it? So what did that go for? That went for 2.75 points before it came down. So I got out for 2.25 points. So if it's a bit choppy and a little bit unpredictable, I like to sort of get in for a couple of points on average if I can. A little bit short there. But you know. But see, this is the type of trade that I'm just watching and monitoring at the moment, and when I see something I like that might not be the rules, I'll put a little thing there and see if it would have made 2 points, and that's how you learn, isn't it? So that'll go in my memory bank now, and the next time I see something like that, which might be a little bit risky, but I still like the context, I'll just note that as well. But you know, I've only been trading a total of 3 years, so for me, really, I'm just sort of scratching the intermediate level, whereas I can build an account and make money. I still have the psychological issues a bit, but I'm still learning day by day, and I'm still making mistakes. But hopefully the mistakes I'm making now than I was making 12 months ago are less. But I am convinced that Mac doesn't show us his trades because a lot of the times he may take that because he may like it, and he may have spent the last 20 years seeing them work and taking them, but it doesn't follow the rules with Macs because you've not got enough room to the highs. But obviously Matt's got to teach us a certain way and a certain method, and the rest you sort of learn, and as you develop and mature as a trader over time. Open a gambling account. So after you hit profit on your main account, use the practice trade. Gambling one, yeah. Do you know, strangely enough, I've never, gambling's never really interested me. Never really give me any excitement, nothing like that. But sometimes when I've been trading, and I've had to stop this, the evenings I get a real urge to come back, and I put that down to that gambling feeling. And I've had to stamp that out. I've had to now walk away and just, my rule is now, as soon as I finish, I mark my chart up for the day, I set my stream ready for the next day, and then I walk away, shut it down, and don't come back. And as long as I do that, I'm okay. But I used to get a terrible urge to come back, and the only thing I can put that down to is that gambling feeling, although I've never had it. But it must be it. So I can understand why people gamble, but strange enough, gambling's never really done anything to me. But Perhaps I just haven't done it long enough to get the sort of bug. But yeah, my at the moment the ATR's just over 2. So with a tick above and tick below, the average trade is just over 2.5 points. But what I usually do is wait for a bar to finish. Normally, Mac teaches us to put a tick above, but I wait for a bar to finish and hold it there. And as soon as it triggers above, I drop it there, and I don't know, 19 times out of 20, it'll pick you up. But you'll save a tick then. Never tried the martingale system, lads. I've never heard of that, mate. Martingale. Oh, on roulette. I've never ever played roulette. See, you forget I'm from the UK, mate. We're not as extravagant as you US guys. I've never even been to a casino. There is a casino, I believe, in Birmingham, which is about 50 miles away, but I've never been to a casino. I wouldn't even know how to play half these games. Just never been. It's not something you get many in the UK. In the bigger cities, probably, yeah, but it's not. It's not that big in the UK. Strange. He means. Degenerate. What Janssen 2 means degenerate. What, the martingale system? Is that what you're on about, Sam? Is it? Degenerate. I'm not sure what you mean. You forget I'm from the UK. We're a lot shy and quieter over here. I'm missing something. What am I missing, Sam? I'm making a prat of myself, am I? What's going on here? What's going on here? Is that a spike in channel? It's possible. Basically picking one. Oh, yeah, I know, I understand that, mate. Yeah. Black or red in it, or a particular number, or an odds or even. Yeah, I get it, yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. Okay, so that would have worked, although it came down with a bit of a scare, but same again. The stop would have been intact. I wouldn't have waited that long. I just wanted to get out for a couple of points, and that would have worked for a couple of points, but the stop's intact. When that came down and bounced there, we got on. Is that a new low there? No, it's not, is it? So I don't know whether you may have taken that. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of taking that after that big bearish bar, but, you know, everything's clear. So if I'd have held there, I'd have been up here. So we're definitely moving up. There's got to be something bigger, surely. Oh, let's see if we've got anything from Uncle Mac yet, shall we? Yes. 40 a while ago. Do you know what? I think we may have a big channel going here. We've got a leg up there. 1, 2 legs of correction and another leg. So I think, before I look at Max, let's just see. I think we may have a leg and a leg. I really like that. So that's played out, so we can move that. Leg up, 2 legs of correction. Although in one channel, 1 leg, 2 legs. So, okay, funnily enough, Max got he's got that. So he's got that channel up there, and he's got this from there on break? Yeah. Yeah, Max got that, funnily enough. Yeah, strange how he does that sometimes. Sometimes, from what Mac usually does, it's a bit unusual. He does put some unusual channels there that I've never really seen him do before. I get that. Something like that, but when we have a couple legs, but yeah, he's got it like that. Strange. See what I mean? It's a bit odd, isn't it? And he's got that. Sometimes, yeah, it's weird. Sometimes he'll do that as separate channels. Other times he'll join them into one. Odd. Perhaps it was because it was meeting in the midline he did it. I don't know. So he's got something similar. This, but we've had a break up, a couple of legs down, and we're going higher again. So for me, I think that is very likely a larger channel. Leg up, 2 legs of correction, another leg up. So if we can get back down here at some point. So we're coming up to these highs now. Yeah, see, I've got the 4,000 tick chart above my head as well, and that looks nice. We've got a leg and a leg, and continuation up. So if we can get above here, maybe come back and retest this and push up. I think it's feasible. We're going to have a leg and a leg. Yeah, 10,000 charts, sort of pretty identical. Oh. Okay, straight up to there. I'd expect that to struggle a bit there, maybe come down a little bit. Leg. Excuse me, that's 2 legs, so we're going to continue up from there. Okay, folks, I am going to take a quick 5-minute break. I like that. It's looking really nice. We've got a leg and a leg. So we've started here. We pushed up. We've been working in this top tier, 2 legs back, working in this bottom tier. So I'd be interested to see whether we push up here into this top tier again. We'll come back down. There may have been a few shorts taken there as we've just bounced at the overnight high. So let's see what happens. I'm certainly not getting the trade there. It's going to have to come further down for me, ideally here. I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break. I'm going to make a quick cup of tea. And I will be back 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. Okay, that looks like 2 legs back. Trouble is, we've come up here a few times, so I really don't want to take a trade there for 3 points. Tick below 3 points. A little bit risky for me, especially with all this sort of vacant area here, so that may... that, in my opinion, may get trapped. So we shall see. Does look like a leg, but we have had a break with a new high. My slight concern is this area here. So to take a trade to go long again for me, I'd want to come back to this area. It may hold, but I don't like the way it's triggered and then start to come back down. So for me, a little bit risky. Okay, so that bar has triggered. So far, it's holding. I'm still a bit concerned, though. I hate it when it goes sideways. It's not a small bar either. Tick above and a tick below is 3 1/4 points. Yes. Let's try to. There's 3 times it's trying to push higher there, and it's at the overnight high. So 3 times. Excuse me a second. Sorry. 3 times it's coming back from those overnight highs, so it could maybe trap another long or so in here and then come back down. But if you're in that trade, you've got to point to the squeeze. I'm not saying it's not going to. So yeah, you're gonna squeeze the point out of that. Let's see what happens. It could just drop that. That's what concerns me about when it goes like this. Okay, second entry short there, triggered. I think if that can get above this here, excuse me, I think it'll continue up. Okay, so there's a failure there which traps some shorts. Whether you take a short, I don't know there. So I think that'll push up some more. Mm-mm. In my opinion, the only way I'm really going to trade is from here. I'm just not a fan where it is, especially after we've had a break in a new high. It does look like it's trying to go higher. It's sort of working under that midline, but the trouble is there is this vacant area which it could drop in if we are indeed continuing up, which it looks like it. I mean, we've definitely got some support around here. Some resistance around here at this level, but if we can get above it, which I think we probably will, the only place I'd feel safe is if it came back down here and started working up. There is a possibility of a leg or maybe a spike in a channel there. Maybe not. It does look like it's continuing on up. Got to come back to here though. I kind of like that channel. We touched here, touched twice there. If we can come back, we're obviously moving up. There's no argument there. Got a channel there with a break. 2 pushes up to new high. If we can come back to this area, ideally where we've had this top, if we can come back to sort of this area here, a couple of legs back, and maybe look for a trade where those sort of, with the top of the range and the bottom of the trend channel sort of converge. Because we've used this as resistance, and now we've pushed above it quite strongly. So I'd like for it to come back and to retest the tops. And if we can get a couple of legs somewhere around about here, that might be a nice way to move up towards the top of that second leg. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Trouble is, hard to know exactly where your level is here. We'll say one leg down. If we can get a little pull back and get another leg down, this anywhere around here, I think would be suitable. When you plan on copy trades with other accounts. Okay, so I've had multiple accounts at once. Recently 4, had that going for a while. Traded on 2 contracts, had a couple of losses, so blew the accounts. So what I decided to do is reduce my risk down to 1 contract, which has made a big difference, and build this one account to somewhere around about $3,000 maybe, and then take a payment. And with that payment, I'll put some of it to maybe build in another 2 or 3 accounts, and then do that whenever I get another payment. So every month, if I can get a payment, or close to a month or 2 months or a month and a half, get another couple. And I'm going to build up slowly rather than just trying to jump too quick. Because if I can get this up to a level where I can start getting small regular withdrawals from it, then I can use that to sort of reinvest. It's the one thing I've never done, concentrated on the one and reduced to 1 contract. I've always traded 2 contracts, so the difference, I can't tell you, it's night and day on how you feel. So I'm guessing that less stress, losing that larger money, should hopefully not trigger those emotions enough to cause me to make stupid decisions and possibly blow an account. So slow and steady this time round. Okay, so we pulled down, we bounced off the top there. I kind of like that. My only slight concern is it's a first entry. Now it may just push up, but I'd like to have another leg. That's the trouble with a first entry. It may work, but it's always nice to have 2 attempts. The way that's coming down there, I'll be surprised if it doesn't take out that stop. Although it is a nice looking bar where you'd expect it to bounce. But that's going to stop that out for sure. So 1 leg, 2 legs. If we can get another leg back to somewhere around about anywhere around here, it would confirm that channel. And I do expect it to continue on up. There's no reason why it shouldn't. We've got 1 leg up. That's definitely got to be a target. There's no argument there. Now we're above this. We've had resistance to try to get through it. We've pushed strongly through it. We've gone up again. We've come back. And now we're using it as support. So I'd like a couple of bounces and a second entry long. How long does it usually take to pass? No, I do $50,000 ones. They're a lot easier to pass. The win to loss ratio is almost 50-50. Once you start getting to the 100,000, I think you've got to make about $7,000, and your drawdown's about 3.5 or 4 or something like that. So it's a lot harder You've got to make a lot more. And at the end of the day, the $50,000 accounts, you can trade up to 10 contracts. Are you really going to trade 10 contracts on a $50,000 account? That guy Vince, who withdrew over $1 million over a few months from Apex, the one that withdrew that $800,000, he's got $300,000 accounts, and all he ever trades is 1 to 3 contracts. So for me, the $50,000 is more than you'll ever need. And you've only got to make $3,000 for a $2,500 drawdown. You got to the $100,000. You've got to make a lot more. It just doesn't make sense to me. It costs more to do the evaluation. It costs more of the one-off fee. So personally, for me, I think the $50,000 is ample. Some people even say the $25,000, but no, for me, the 50 is perfect for me, I think. Yeah, 25 is the easiest. My only slight thing is with a 25 is I think you can withdraw 1,500 instead of 2,000, but obviously after 3 months. So for the little extra you've got to make, I think it's worth the 50, but it's a personal thing, that's all. But, you know, I absolutely agree that the 25 is the easiest, and you can trade 4 contracts. Are you really ever going to trade more than 4 contracts? You've got... Especially with prop trading, it's all about getting multiple accounts, which is why I've decided to go down to this. So my average day at the moment, this is day 7, I'm up to $800. So my average day is over $100 a day. So let's say, for argument, $100 a day. If I've got 20 accounts, that's $2,000 a day. That's $40,000 a month. That's more money than you need. It's loads of money. And then as the accounts build, then you can go up from 1 to 2 contracts and so on. But for me, small and steady, I need that risk reducing, and every single trader I've ever spoken to, when I say trader, I mean people who know what they're doing, have told me everyone always risks too much when they start trading, and I finally listened. Because I'm stubborn sometimes, I'm a bit pig-headed, I always think you know, I've got the answers and I know better, when sometimes I don't take my own advice. So it's the one thing I've always avoided coming down, because I thought it would take too long. And in all fairness, I'm probably not making anything less because, you know, I'm not scared to take a trade anymore. You know, you'll usually hold your trades a bit longer. Okay, so we've used it as resistance. We've come back and used it as support, and we broke back through it again, and we've used it as resistance again. So it may now just range again. There's a failure there. I wouldn't take it because at the moment we're still pushing up, but I think it's just as likely we're going to continue back into this range. That's the trouble when you get that focused on these. You think they're never going to end, but that to me is struggle to get through, push through strongly, bounced a few times, pushed back through and retested the top. So for me, it's just as likely we're going to come down. We tried a bunch of times to get above it. We pushed strongly. We came back, retested it twice. Big, strong push up. Started to fizzle out a little bit there. Came back down, sat on the top 3 times and then pushed below it. Came back down. And then pushed up, retested it, and then that turned. So I don't know whether we're going to go up or down. We could certainly continue down. There is obviously that potential of a bigger channel there. I've drawn it there, and I haven't just drawn that. That's been sat there for 15 minutes, and funnily enough, that's come down and touched it perfectly. So there's a possibility that there could be a bigger channel, which is why I'm not going short here, because we could have a leg, a break in a leg, and some continuation up to this measured move. If I move that, if that's valid, see, you could say it's a break and a new high, but funnily enough, look, it's looking really nice in there, isn't it? So let's keep an eye on this. I want it to continue higher first before I think about getting back in. Because it could trick some longs there. That's encouraging the way it's done that, but I wouldn't be shocked if it triggered some longs and came back down. So I'm a bit on the fence at the moment, but once we continue on up and we get back up here, then I'll think about going long again. But at the moment, I'm just sitting tight. So we've had a little channel down there. We've had a break at a new low. Nice. Could be just teasing some longs in here and it may come down. We've pushed down. We've made one attempt to go higher, a second attempt to go higher. So there is now a possibility it could come tumbling down. Pushed up one, two attempts to go higher, and up we went. Come down, break. Two attempts to go higher, and down we come. So there's a possibility if that comes bearish and doesn't get much higher, that we could come down. Push up, two attempts to go lower, continue on up. Pull down, two attempts to go higher, continue on down. So we are upwards at the moment, the picture is, but there is a possibility. And the reason I think there is because obviously we've been dabbling around the highs here. We've used it as resistance, then support, and then we've come back down and we're using it as resistance. But in all fairness, when I was looking at this, I did mention I'd like it to come back here before I think about going long. So the fact that we are back to the bottom of this trend channel could mean we continue on. So it just might have lost momentum here because we were so far away from here. So that's my thought anyway. So if that ends up bearish, I'd expect to come down. Not necessarily all the way, but certainly to this area here. See what happens. That's if it ends up bearish. Leg down, one attempt, two attempts to go higher. It still might come down. Let's see if this bar ends. It's struggling to get above there, so if we do get a bearish bar now below the EMA, I think that it's likely it's going to come down to, well, here, maybe completely down, but certainly to this bottom anyway. Leg down, 2 attempts to go higher, failure, come back down. So this is looking bearish now. Let's see if it holds down here. In fact, folks, I'm going to knock it on the head. I'm up 3 trades. It's been a long time since I've had 3 winning trades in one session. It's got a bit sideways now. I'm quite happy now. What I don't want to do is give anything back, so I'm up a nice, what's that? 5 1/4 points today, so that's a good result for me. So I'm pleased with that. So I'd rather, my general rule is I have 2 trades. And I move anyway, but I've done 2.5 hours now, fraction over. So I'm going to go and enjoy my own. I'm going to pour myself a nice glass of single malt, and I'm cooking paella tonight, so I'm going to have a nice feed and a nice little drink. So good day for me. It does look like it's trying to push up, doesn't it? But that's the trouble when it's getting around these overnight highs. You just never quite know. 1 minute it's looking like it's struggling, then it pushes up. And then it looks like it's struggling again. We're getting a bit of movement now, so if we can get above here, specifically that bar there, and then that one, then we may continue up there. We have come back to this 5.55 is 55. No. A point is $50 trading one contract. $50. So I'm up $262, so that's what, 5 1/4 points. Yeah, okay, that's looking positive. So no, it's $50 if you're trading one contract, just $50 per point. So I'm up 5 1/4 points, hence $262. But imagine if I had 10 accounts or 20 accounts, that'd be quite a decent amount of money, wouldn't it? And that's all from just trading one contract. Small, little often, I think. So I was thinking 6. No. So that's a good result for me, as you guys know. But what I will say is, do you remember about 2 months ago, we were talking about how hard the market was, or setups have all but gone. It was really tough. I was struggling to do $600 in a week. I was struggling for 3 2-point trades in a week, and some weeks I ended up on $300. But things have changed now. They've improved. And I've got above an average day trading 2 contracts. And I'm only trading 1. So for me, that's a result. But setups are getting better. It's definitely getting more back to normal. But it really was hard leading up to September, if you remember rightly. People kept saying that institutional traders taking their holidays, when they come back September, the new sort of term. Most of the summer holidays will be over, and then people will have that run up to Christmas then. But it's definitely improved. But there you go. But it does look like we are continuing on up now. We've been fighting with this overnight highs for a while. But if we can get above it, then I think it's likely we're going to continue up. But I'm quite happy with what I got at the moment. So that's a good result for me. So I'm pleased with that. So, excuse me a second. No sense risking anymore. That is my average for a day on one contract. I'm happy with, or target as a loose form. I don't want to set myself monetary targets because sometimes, but an amount I'm happy with a day on average is $100. So I'm more than happy with that today. So after fees, it's about $250. So I'm pleased with that. We are continuing up. So that is me for the day. So I appreciate your comment. In fact, it's been a quiet day. It's been a less chit-chatty day today. But that's okay. Some days we have our chatty days, don't we? And other days, or we just get our head down and get on with it. But it's not been a terrible day today. It's moving quite fluently. It was a little bit unsure what we're doing here, but now we've come back for those couple of legs and we're continuing up. It's getting a bit clearer. I don't think that was a bad trade to take, actually. We'd had a break and a new low. You can see it confirm that. It touched there right to the nearest tick. So for me, that was not a bad place to take a long, at least just back to the EMA, but I always tend to wait for the higher lows. Unfortunately, there wasn't one. You may consider that, but we're going back into the highs again. So there you go. So I appreciate all your comments. You've had a good green day. There's definitely been a few trades around today. So I'll be back same time tomorrow. So nice, smooth Monday. Just over 2.5 hours done. So I hope you've had some green. So have a great evening. If you're carrying on trading, best of luck. I hope you get some setups. And I will be back same time tomorrow. So have a great evening. Stay safe. And we will talk tomorrow. Bye for now.